Back to the NFL now. Dak Prescott and the Cowboys offense firing on all cylinders on Monday night against the Raiders. Dak tied his season high with 4 touchdown passes, completed over 75% of those passes. The result was a much-needed win that kept the Cowboys' playoff hopes alive. Overall, Dak has been impressive this season, ranking in the top 5 of most quarterback metrics. His total QBR of 75 is his best since his rookie season in 2016, with his nearly 70% completion rate, which was the best of his career. Okay, so up next, the Cowboys have a huge game against the Eagles, as we talked about a lot, division rival. Peter Schrager now joins the show. What is at stake for Dak Prescott this weekend?
Well, 2 weeks ago, I was in Dallas and watched the Dallas Cowboys put together one of the worst performances you will see an NFL team do on Monday Night Football, losing to the Arizona Cardinals with Bam Knight and DeMarcado running all over them and us hailing Jacoby Brissett the next great thing. 2 weeks later, Swagu and I were in Vegas, and I watched a Cowboys team that I think would have beaten the 76 Steelers on Monday night. This Cowboys team looked night and day from the version that we saw just 2 weeks earlier. And my statement here is that the next 3 games, this stretch, is a legacy-defining 3 weeks for one Dak Prescott. And I believe there's a very good chance that the Cowboys run the table in these 3 games. Now, hear me out. Eagles, Chiefs, Lions. Eagles game, national audience. Chiefs game, Thanksgiving. Lions, national audience. This Cowboys team, with the additions of Quinnen and Logan Wilson and what they got back with Overshown, and then I take it to a dramatic place here, and I understand this is a bit of a right turn, but Swagu was in the building as well, and I think he could back me up. The way this team got off the bus, in their Marshawn Kneeland shirts, coming off a bye week, where they were listening to all the outside noise going into it, and then real life happened, I believe this team is all on the same page. I believe they were galvanized by this moment, and I believe they needed something like Monday night's victory to kickstart and look at each other and say, you know what, screw it, let's do this thing. Dak Prescott has been good all season long. Heavy is the crown. He makes a ton of money. He makes $60 million. Go have your stretch. Go have your moment. These next 3 weeks, I could see the Cowboys doing some real things here and following Dak's lead, who has been the ultimate leader through what was a real-life tragedy and a real-life crisis, and he has handled this like maybe no other quarterback could.
Swagu?
After Schrager gives a statement like that, what the hell do y'all want me to say? I got motivated, Schrager. I got motivated by what you said, but I'm nervous, man. And I think you're right. I think this next 3-game stretch will say a lot about Dak Prescott. Now, everybody will go to the playoffs, Schrager, and everybody will talk about it really is not legacy defining because you get into the postseason. But I do agree with you here. You look at what's at stake for this football team. You look at who the opponents are and how well respected they are in this league, and which I don't think is going to happen. But by some stretch of the imagination, they actually win the next 3 games, and Dak Prescott performs at a very high level, and this team is a lot better. People will look at this stretch and say a team that was on the brink of not having the opportunity to make the playoffs, their quarterback came through and they beat 3 teams in this league that nobody thought they would beat at this point of the season. So there is some validity to that. Problem is, I just don't think it's going to happen.
Yeah.
And we talked about this in the first hour, Schrager. With Philly, it's always a toss-up. As good as Philly is, I got a ton of respect for what Philly is, but this is a divisional game. I don't think anybody is crazy for saying that the Dallas Cowboys could win against Philly at home. I don't think it's going to happen. But I think if they won, I don't think we would be surprised. You got a desperate Kansas City Chiefs team on Thanksgiving, and you got a Detroit Lions team that's probably about to start playing with a lot of desperation, who I think are 2 better teams than Dallas. And I understand what you and I were there, and they are galvanized. And I talked about that in the first hour. There's a different tone and tenor to what this football team is, and obviously because of what they went through. But ultimately, this game is the biggest humbler in the world. And I think these 3 teams that they're playing, but 2 specifically after the Philadelphia Eagles, that's going to be probably the toughest task that this team is going to face all year, because it's 2 teams that's playing desperate football that we all have a ton of respect for, and we know that they have the personnel to win any game that they play in. But if Dak does go on a 3-0 run and wins these next 3 games, Schrager, I'm with you. I do think people will look at him completely different based on how he plays if the team wins these next 3 games.
Dak Prescott has won 18 straight at home against divisional opponents. Just throwing it out there. Stephen A?
Peter, I think that your position is a bit extreme in terms of you saying legacy defining, in terms of the outcome of the game. I do think how he performed matters, but we've seen them tie with Green Bay. He dropped 40. That wasn't on him. So my point to you is that I think what you're saying makes sense if we're talking about him performing well compared to wetting the bed. Knowing how important this is, knowing the adjustments that have been made or the alterations that have been made. Overshawn is back, obviously. Overshawn is back. Of course, you got Quentin Williams and Logan Wilson back in there now. You got them there now that you've acquired them. The defense is supposed to look better. If the defense still looking like trash the way that they did for the better part of the first half of the season, then that's not on Dak Prescott. Now, if he goes out there and suddenly they can't score against Philly, Kansas City, and I forgot the third team they're playing.
Detroit.
I mean, I'm just saying, Detroit, thank you. I said if they go out and they can't score, and with CeeDee Lamb and with George Pickens and Ferguson and all of these cats, they can't do anything right offensively, then your point is valid. But if Dak Prescott goes out there and he plays well and the offense is clicking, but the defense is trash, that's not on him. And that's the only thing that I would say.
I would add this. It's almost as much about the leadership piece of this for Dak to me. This is a man who makes $60 million. There's no excuses for him not being able to rise above statistically, and he's always done that. This is where the team was at a crossroads. There's a real crisis, and then real life hits. So at the same point where they're losing these games to the Arizona Cardinals at home on Monday Night Football, which is inconceivable if you look at it now and think about what that happened in that game just less than a month ago, to now, all right, real life hits. Dak, we pay you all this money. You've been through it on a personal level when there's tragedy like this. And to tell the rest of the guys, hey, follow me. I got you. And then to go run off these 3 wins. I'll go a step further. I just saw the full screen of that schedule. I don't think the Vikings are world beaters. I just watched the Jaguars dominate the Chargers. I don't think the Giants are any good. And the Commanders on Christmas Day, the Cowboys could be double-digit favorites by that point. There is no reason that the Cowboys, after what they did Monday night, and granted it was against a terrible Raiders team, can't look around at each other and say, you know what, why not us? Let's go on the run. Let us be the story. And you know what? If Dak Prescott is being paid what he's paid and is the leader that he has, and he's got those 2 alpha wide receivers, why not?
Well, I will say this last point.
But Schrager, go ahead, Stephen A. Go ahead.
Last point, and this is very important to bring up. We all know what you're alluding to when you talk about Dak Prescott relating to the personal tragedy that took place. We know what happened with his brother in April of 2020. Our heart goes out to him, and obviously Dak Prescott overcame a lot, and tribute to him for being that guy. What I would say to you, Peter, is that he in terms of his muscle, I'm talking about, his ability to lead, his ability to overcome adversity, his ability, he's been proven that. I mean, so it's like, him saying it's on me, it's on my shoulders. One of the things, in all seriousness, I might troll him from time to time because of the Cowboys and their fan base, and I like messing with them. But we all know what a great player Dak Prescott is. He's got to get over the hump in terms of postseason, but we know the brother can play. We know the brother's a quintessential leader. We know that in terms of how he comports himself, how he conducts himself, we know there's nobody that can say anything about him. You want that kind of leader at your quarterback position. I'm saying he's proven that years ago. So there's nothing here to prove. If anything, you're feeling even better as a team when it comes to your quarterback because you know what he's been through on a very, very personal level and what he's overcome. So I don't think that that's an issue at all.
Did Dwight Clark and Jerry Rice
when we go,
miss big meetings? I'm sorry, Swagu, you were next. My fault. Go ahead.
Go ahead, Swag, and then final word to Doggy. Go ahead.
You're 82.
Mad Dog. Can you get into the flow of the conversation with everybody else, please? Can you just come along with us? We passed George Pickens and CeeDee Lamb not playing in the first series of the game. Join the conversation, Mad Dog, okay? Thank you, brother. I can't wait to see you next week because you need a hug. You've been so mad the last couple of weeks for no reason, and I know why. Stephen A., I know why. It's because I'm not there.
No doubt.
I'm not there to give him a hug.
You
I'm
let
not
me
there to
down.
talk to him. We haven't had our,
It's a joke.
we haven't
that
had
you're
our
not here.
time.
It's upsetting. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I know how you. Let it out. Let it out. Stephen A., we got to put him through therapy sometimes on the show when you and I are not there because he feels like he abandoned.
No, you're wrong. You're wrong. Listen, he mess up in therapy, okay, because he can't help himself, all right? This is a man that comes on national television, okay, and you're talking about a guy that's supposed to be on television discussing sports and finds a way to take shots at his wife, his mama, his mother-in-law.
Yeah.
I mean, three precious
Holidays.
individuals that are just holidays. He's the Grinch. You know, it's Thanksgiving, he hates it. It's Christmas, he hates it. You know, he celebrates when the wife goes away with the children so he can have the house to himself and his dogs. There's no hope for somebody like that. You got to just accept the fact that Doggy is who he is. There's no hope for him. There's no hope.
I mean,
Good news is we got to leave
Stephen A., this man Schrager pours his heart out about Dallas and Dak, and you come and talk about Dak and what he's been through and everything. And Mad Dog says, did Jerry Rice and T.O. ever miss the first series of a football game?
He's referencing his football almanac up here. I don't even know what's happening. We have some breaking news out of the NFL. Shedeur Sanders will be getting his first career start this weekend when the Browns take on the Raiders. Dylan Gabriel remains in concussion protocol, and so here's his head coach, Kevin Stefanski. This was moments ago, making the move official.
Shedeur is going to start at quarterback. Dylan is still in the concussion protocol. He is improving, but obviously we got to put a plan together for all of our players, all of our offense, our defense, our special teams, plan of attack, and give our guys a chance to go execute and play fast. That's the goal.
Peter Schrager, with this news, what's your reaction?
Okay, now it's time to do it with first-team reps. I mean, there's always been a caveat that he hasn't been able to get the opportunity to play with the first team. You heard some quotes from offensive linemen saying they weren't really sure about his cadence because they haven't worked with him. I said in training camp, if he had a Russell Wilson-like training camp from when Russell was a third-round pick in 2012 and made it so undeniable and blew away every coach at it, you had to start him over Matt Flynn. You had to start him over the late Travaris Jackson, that maybe Shedeur would do it. He didn't have that training camp. He hasn't had that season where he's made it undeniable in practice, and whether or not he's been given that opportunity or not, that's neither here nor there. Here's how I look at it. Shedeur Sanders, right now, has about 8 games. He can make a statement to not only that coaching staff, not only to that owner, but to that fan base that, yes, I am the guy, and it's worth keeping me around, or it's worth giving me a shot next year, as opposed to using one of those 2 first-round picks on a quarterback or packaging them and getting a quarterback that way. I know there's been a lot of discourse on Shedeur Sanders. Guess what? Full week of practice. You're the guy. Let's see it now on an even playing field, and let's make our judgments after this week as opposed to last week.
Stephen A.?
I am very, very disappointed with Peter Schrager right
Here we go.
I mean, what a tepid response.
Rational.
Talk about lukewarm. I mean, damn. I mean, listen, we all know. Listen, Peter, where's the guy so incredibly connected to the National Football League with sources everywhere, knowing your football backwards and forwards the way that you do? Where's the guy that was saying, what's up with the cadence issue? What's up with no first-team reps? What's up with the fact that Kevin Stefanski is a 2-time NFL Coach of the Year, 2020 and 2023, having a quarterback who's a rookie so flagrantly ill-prepared to be on the football field last week? Where that Peter Schrager at? Now, come on, man. Come on now. This is what I'm talking about here. This is what I'm talking about here when I'm talking about. Listen, in the interest of full disclosure, Doggy, Swagu, and Peter, I said this with Shae yesterday. I root for Kevin Stefanski. Let me tell you why. I know his daddy. Ed Stefanski is a long-time NBA executive. We go back decades. I love that man, okay? And that's his son. So I'll never root against Kevin Stefanski. And Kevin Stefanski comes into the NFL, and he immediately shows he's a hell of a coach. Again, I'm not saying rookies, start and get first team reps as a QB2, Peter. Please don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is if you know you're already starting a rookie and a rookie happens to be the QB2, and you know that the QB1 is susceptible to concussions, he's a relatively small dude, one hit can end him for the game, for the season. You know this. For the backup to be a rookie and to be so flagrantly unprepared, which Shedeur Sanders looked like, I find to be suspicious. So I'm glad they announced that he's the starter. I'm glad he's going to get his first team reps and stuff like that. I get it. I understand. I'm looking forward to it. And I want to say this last point. Shedeur Sanders, I can't think of a game that's going to be more important. He can't come out this week and stink up the joint going 4 for 16 like he did last week. Nobody is giving him a pass. He goes out there and he stinks up the joint this weekend, people are going to be saying he don't belong in the league yet. It's going to be bad. He is under immense pressure to at least look respectable this week.
I think we're
Especially against the Raiders.
I want to maintain my place on First Take, so let me come a little bit hotter here. That was tepid. You're right, Stephen A. I apologize for that. That was weak sauce. When I say Russell Wilson won the job and became undeniable, when I say Derek Carr as a second-round pick won the job and was undeniable, what I'm also saying is Shedeur Sanders did not win the job this summer, did not earn a place on the field yet this season, and it took for 3 other quarterbacks to go down for him to get an opportunity. What I'm also saying is some of the onus is on the player as well, in that they're not looking to lose games. They want to put together the best team possible, and they didn't believe up until this point Shedeur Sanders gave him the best chance to do so.
I think it's really
Go ahead,
out of
Doggy.
line to blame Stefanski for the quarterback being unprepared. He's an excellent coach. He knows QBs. I know Cam Newton did. They had Watson forever, and he worked with him. Furthermore, he's got a rookie quarterback in Gabriel. What are you going to do, split the snaps with Gabriel, who's a rookie quarterback? He needs as much snaps as anybody. You can't. It's not like he's Joe Flacco where you can sort of maneuver because Flacco's seen everything in the NFL. He just started. He's got to get all the snaps. He's preparing for a ball game. And I'll give Shedeur a little credit because that last drive on Sunday against the Ravens was at least respectable. But let's call it like we see it. He was outright awful on Sunday afternoon against her. Let's call it like we see it. And to put the blame because he wasn't prepared is nonsense. He held the ball way too long. He couldn't get the ball to the line of scrimmage. He didn't play well. So to sit there and blame this now on the head coach, to me, is really not the right thing to do, especially when Gabriel is a rookie quarterback who needs all the practice time he can get so he can be qualified for the game. But I agree with Steve on one thing. No excuses now. You're playing the Raiders who stink. Go out there. You don't have to be phenomenal. Be like a representative quarterback, which he wasn't on Sunday against the Ravens.
I think it was the fact that the offensive line had never heard his cadence that got everyone rattled. How have they never one time
It took 10
heard
seconds.
his
It took 10 seconds to throw the ball when he was back in the pass.
Right.
Should have been a late first round guy, but third round wouldn't have made me scratch my eyebrows based on the conversations that I had with a lot of people around the league. But ultimately, when we get to this point of Shedeur Sanders' tenure with the Cleveland Browns, there is no way in hell, Shae, you absolutely right, that the offensive line should know his cadence. I don't give a damn if it's a baby at quarterback in front of him. I've been in the NFL locker room 9 years. The second string quarterback on a football team always has a package or some reps that he gets with the first team just in case he has to step in if a quarterback gets hurt or goes down. That is absolutely bullcrap for them not to know his cadence going into his first game in the NFL. Doggy, I don't give a damn what you feel like about Kevin Stefanski. I ain't ever seen a second string quarterback or some offensive line say they don't know the cadence of a quarterback that has the potential to play in the game. We didn't know Shedeur Sanders was going to play in the game. They didn't either. That you don't prepare for a guy not to play if he's a second string quarterback. You prepare for all variables in case something happens to your first string guy. I go back to training camp, and I understand what you're saying, Schrager. And obviously throughout the training camp, you got to do something to catch the attention of your football team. But we heard it. We heard limited reps in practice.
Right.
Joe Flacco came in. He had to go down the laundry list of quarterbacks in order to get reps with the first team and the good on good. And maybe he didn't show well during that period of time. But Schrager, you and I know it wasn't enough to make a determination of if he was going to be good enough to be a starting quarterback for your football team. So now we get, and y'all know me. Stephen A., you know me as well as anybody. I ain't going to defend the quarterback when I don't think he's good. I don't give a damn who he is, who his daddy is, where he came from, or his life story. It don't matter to me. This game is very honest. Either you can play it or you can't.
Or you can't.
I'm telling you right now, in this particular situation, this kid needs more of an opportunity and tutelage to see if he can be a really good quarterback in the NFL. It's unfortunate how it has went. But now Kevin Stefanski even alluded to it. We got to build some continuity. We got to make sure that the guy that we prepare for this week is knows enough, and the people around him knows enough in order for him to have success. The young man was not in a position to have success the last time we saw him play football. Period. That's on the coaches. That's on the offensive coordinator, the head coach, the quarterback coach, and everybody else. Go ahead, Stephen.
Well,
because
here's the deal, and I got that. I got it.
Responsible.
That he's not, because listen, this is where Doggy is so wrong. And see, Peter, I get where you're coming from, because listen, look, Peter, let's call Peter what he is, all right? Peter's an insider, damn it. You understand? Peter knows everybody in the NFL. You understand? So I understand. I get it. I can get on you for being tepid and all that stuff. But damn it, I've been there covering the NBA for 30 years. I get it. Sometimes you're gonna be the truth. You're gonna tell the truth. You don't lie. You're gonna tell the truth. But in the same breath, the momentum, the energy that comes with it, a little bit different when you got to go from an insider's perspective. Got it. No problem. Doggy, what the hell is your excuse? You're a Hall of Fame. You're a Hall of Fame radio host. You've been a pundit and raising hell for 4+ decades. They inducted you into the Hall of Fame because of this, and you're gonna sit up here with a straight face on national television.
Yes, I am.
Kevin Stefanski is not once. He's a 2-time Coach of the Year. He's a damn good coach. And his quarterback ain't ready? You know that Dylan Gabriel is totally different than Shedeur Sanders. Shedeur Sanders does hold on to the ball a little bit too long. He is looking to make deep passes. He will stand into the pocket. You got Dylan Gabriel trying to get the ball out inside of 2 seconds. That's not Shedeur Sanders. They knew that. We also know, because I know you know this, Peter, we know Cleveland ain't on the same page. The owner and the GM might want one thing. The coach and the offensive coordinator might want another. So that's a house divided in Cleveland. That still comes down to Kevin Stefanski, because he's the one coaching the team. Last but not least, while we're sitting here raving about Kevin Stefanski, do you know that right now when it comes to Kevin Stefanski, Shedeur Sanders will be his 13th quarterback since 2025. Baker Mayfield, Case Keenum, Nick Mullins, Deshaun Watson, Jacoby Brissett, Joe Flacco, P.J. Walker, Dorian Thompson-Robinson, Jeff Driscoll, Jameis Winston, Bailey Zappi, Dylan Gabriel, and now Shedeur Sanders. Last time I checked, this is Kevin Stefanski we talking about. Right, Swagu? This is Kevin Stefanski we talking about. Right, Peter Schrager? I'm sorry, Baker Mayfield can't play? Jacoby Brissett can't play? I'm looking. I got at least 2. You got at least 2 cats that are starting in the NFL now. What's up with Kevin Stefanski with them?
3 with Flacco.
At some point in time, and with Flacco, that's 3. At some point in time, we do get to look at him and we get to say, yo, you're 2-time Coach of the Year. How that's a problem? How are they complaining about cadence? How is he completely ill-prepared? You know what? Yesterday, Chris Canty and Jeff Saturday told me, Doggy, and I'll pass it to you after saying this. They said to me that Canty said when Bill Parcells was coaching, particularly in Dallas or what have you, if you had a cat that was getting reps that was 20, he'd extend it to 27, 28, 30, just to get the reserves more time.
Absolutely.
So get them their time so they could get exposed to that. So what's up?
I was there too.
You could have got Shedeur Sanders better prepared for the moment. We can say that. That's fair.
Your final word.
First off, Baker Mayfield got released by 2 other teams before he ended up in Tampa, including Sean McVay.
I'm talking about Kevin Stefanski.
Well, that's what I mean. Stefanski released him,
You
but
still
McVay
there?
released him too. So if you're going to kill Stefanski, kill McVay.
You didn't
because
re-sign him.
McVay had him for crying out
McVay
loud.
didn't re-sign him. Go on. Yeah.
Here is the last thing on this. I think that we have a tendency, because of his dad, who's an all-timer, to put Shedeur on this incredible level. He's the 5th-round draft pick to me for a reason. But that's all out the window right now. Here's the deal. You got 6 games. Let's see if you can play in the NFL.